Hey, hello. It's your bud. It's AVT Pro, Alonzo Von Threet, Advanced Visualization Technology Productions. And what I want to do is show you this rig, these rigs, these characters for the ArtVal AV family 7 to 8 seconds to love music video. So what I have is two characters. This is A, sorry, and this is V, and it's Lemon Girl, and I just call this Artie. This one Artie, and they are both rigged and fully ready to go in the scene. Now I have them both in other videos and other demonstration videos, which I posted on my IG and on Facebook. Uh, But this one is a little different because I extended the rig, yes, yet again, to have facial morphs and facial expressions. So this time I added a lot more controls. And what you can see here is this time Artem has, or Artie, because it's a cartoon character, has uh, more control on the eye, so I can get that kind of cartoony eye kind of feel. And I also extended it to the eyebrows, which they also have morphs on them so that it can move around. Now this is a little bit different from this one. Let me click on this because I want to make sure I show you this eye stretch. So you can get the real cartoony kind of eyes. And this is what I mean cartoony. I specifically wanted the separate eyes from the head as a cartoon kind of Looney Tune kind of style of eyes so that I can have that funny kind of kooky or just a little bit more expression, and that should add to the character a bit more. And with this one, you can see that these two rigs are slightly different. And so this one, when I click on this, the eyebrows, I had some problems with this before, but I fixed it. And with this has a very specific type of I'm moving that too much, but this moves along the surface. So I did a very special type of rig for that as well. And I thought I had this over there a little bit more, but anyhow, so I can directly manipulate these, which is very nice. And that was the whole trick about this particular type of character. They were done from cartoon sketches, and even though they were very simple, the rigs wound up being very complex for me with doing this type of rigging. And um, so come on, hold it together there. So, like I say, I just finished this one and just fixed it out. What did I do with that controller? Kind of hard to see. Oops. Don't throw it there. Yipes. But it is working. Where's the controller? But, at some point, if you stretch it too far, the rig will break. But it's working really well. It's really what I wanted. And and then there's this automatic functions. But with these particular eyes and this particular rig, why this one was different from that one is because on this one, I wanted these lashes, these long, lovely lashes on the eyes. So when I go to open and close the eyes, they actually, the lashes follow along with it. And that was very important with this. And I don't think I had any particular reference or tutorial. So I do a lot of different tutorials in order to this is sagging just a little bit. It's lagging just a little bit. But I do a lot of different tutorials in order to mix and mash this. So I did a lot of Delano tutorials from Digital Tutors, which is now Pluralsight. I also do not only Delano, but also Anthony Ward, who does a lot of free tutorials that are online. And see if I click on here, we'll get the iDriver. Now I could set up a separate GUI for this or a graphic user interface to control this even more, so you wouldn't see this highlight and things of that sort. But I added this extra top and lower lash rig, lower lid rigs, and it's both on the same, both same on both eyes. So that's so there you have it. And so that was unique because I wanted these lashes. Now he doesn't have lashes, of course, uh, but she has a glitter makeup eyes and lashes, and she always, I think she always had this, these controls, and he didn't. So I just added them to him, as well as a bunch of more morphs so I can make him talk. See, I don't have a controller for his head. Like on her, I grab this, where his controller is like this and hers is like that. So they're not the same. So they're different and they're based on just basically the character. So I also experiment with a squash and stretch on him. I would have liked to put that on there. But I'm saying all this to say this is like, these are independent projects. And what I would like to do, and what I'm doing right now, is asking for donations or support or funding, social media funding for my work and my studio. So if you can donate to it, if you can use my PayPal on my Instagram, or if you can go to my Facebook, or if you're a Facebook friend and you'd like to donate, there is a area there. And someone has already donated, and he's part of my group. I'm not actually sure if he's part. I'm surprised, but he's from Industrial Light Magic. So if you click on this, it'll actually take you to PayPal, and you can donate there. So I'm going to take this link, and I'm going to put that into the description or into the video. And then also, if you go on my Facebook, and I'll let that page come up first. And over here, if you go on my Facebook, you can go to my page and donate there. I'm also doing some work for the Guggenheim. I did this Gloria Comhurst, the Mercury statue on top of the facade, and this is for the Guggenheim. I'm also been doing work. I just finished a good deal of work for Daniel Lee. And today is my dad's birthday. So, but here is my business fundraiser. And so you can donate. I have a donation already, which I am extremely proud of. Makes me very, very happy because it's inspirational. And Alex Roscoe is a industrial light magic artist and Lucas Arts. So that's very inspirational. I know he knows what this is all about. So big help. Now I want to say this. Another way that I can raise money and to help, because these are independent projects, not like the big corporate work, you know. So these are more creative, smaller, corporate and non-corporate individuals, and even museum work. You know, it's a different dichotomy for the money. It's a different paradigm, and so I put in a lot of work that isn't in the budget to make this work, and so that time and money, and so if you can help out, I would really appreciate it. But one of the things that I am also planning on doing is doing a tutorial behind the scenes. And I'm mentioning that because to do these rigs, they're pretty much my own concoction, my own thing. Like to do, like I very seldom run across these kind of eyes. Now, not that it didn't exist or wasn't already out there or you can't find any, but I've had some. There's not a lot of tutorials, and maybe more so because it's the old fashioned kind of stuff. So on my first tutorial DVD, AVT Pro's Ready Rigs, the Deformer rig, this is the kind of rig I would do. But what I found is that I can do it in electric image, really straightforward. I have a DVD tutorial that I published 10 years ago. But to do this type of old fashioned kind of funny cartoon rig with separate eyes, because, you know, now, you know, it's so sophisticated, you can make the eyes all bent in, and you can even touch on the face and control and manipulate and deform the face. It's so organic, it's so amazing. But for me to come across and to do this kind of rigs again was a it was a lot. It was a lot to get it going. And so I was thinking about doing a tutorial on this. The only thing is I don't do like Maya tutorials. Like a lot of the stuff I do in Maya, I'm learning it's first time or I'm figuring it out. And so even though I can teach you how to do it, there's a lot of things in Maya from the base up, like groups and how to manage groups, and very much organizational type of good practice for handling Maya, which I don't do a lot when I'm working on a project. So if you look at this outliner, so okay, the texture is just dropped because it's just too much memory. But these are pretty much in good shape, but to actually do it, like to organize it in a way that would be really good for teaching is a different story. So my first recommendation is that someone else do a tutorial. I know that sounds wonky. It's like, yeah, Liza will make the money and just put what out there. No, you have to learn it correctly. You know, I highly recommend going by the book and doing the very common procedures. Like, so I would have to teach, like, as long as I'm rigging this myself, I'm just doing a rig that I would do. But the moment I try to teach somebody else how to do it, it becomes a different story. Let's see if this opens up and shows the texture correctly. If not, I'll stop this video and do it again another time. But I don't know if I showed you the phenomes yet, and I want to show you those. Okay. So I really hodgepodge this stuff together. These are great controls and all of that good stuff. But, you know, they're also like, I'm not going to do a GUI for, or a graphic user interface for the actual face. So normally, if you were going to do this and pass it, if you have pass it on to another artist, if you have more targets, then you definitely want to set it up so that they can easily access that. Now here, actually, because I did this in Maya 15, and somehow this wound up in Maya 16. Well, this is the first time I brought this character, in with this one together, and so there's some situations and concerns about that. So there's still some work to do, but again, here, all of these morphs are laid out. Now they are two different characters. You can open and close them and manage them quite nicely with this. But I don't know why that's so that's the brow. I thought there was some more. There should be some more blend shapes on this. So maybe this is not the full file. That's for the brow. Maybe I just can't see it correctly. The way it's laid out. Oh. I thought these were all in here. It should be all in here. But anyway, this is what I mean. It's like I don't have this, like they're good, they're animatable and all that, but iron should be here. Okay. I'm still getting used to this because I just did both of these yesterday. So here, all these for gnomes I did. And this is, I got extra cheeks. I got rolls. I forgot that I even put some on the face to make the whole face turn this way and that, left and right. And then I have a jaw control, and I thought that I had an extra side to side. I do. So this might not be, I did put a side to side on this. I could put one quickly here, but it's my whole thing. Like, these are not organized in a way to pass on and teach it. If I do teach it, and I do a tutorial or DVD, I would show what I did as far as a whole project. So I did another project, and I'm going to talk to Daniel about can I do a tutorial and then make up some of my time and effort for putting in the extra effort for doing it the best I can, and in many ways exceeding the budget. And when I say that, like, obviously, Daniel, great artist, and he does museum work, and I'm very honored. And we work with a budget, and of course, I'm the animator. I'm the animator, the digital sculptor. That's my expertise, and that's what they hire me in for. So I bring to the table things that they may not, as not always aware of, because that's my job to be aware of. And so I lay it on the table, and sometimes I implement things that they may not ask for, but I know it's needed. And so oftentimes, like, he'll give me a budget, he'll give me a bonus, and which is very amazing. I really appreciate that, because it makes it, more workable. So, excuse me. So even though I had a bonus and stuff, there's a ton of work, and I can't talk about the project until they post it. But I had a lot of features in it, so I'd like to go and take those projects and break those projects down. Even maybe not so much the merman, because like I said, I did the Linus rigging for that one, and I did that pretty much by the book, and it was 99% perfect. So if you did his tutorials, you could do it 100. but uh, but for this, if I explain all the catch points and an overview, kind of like how they do a creative development overview, the whole creativity of the project. So I'll talk about this more later. So so uh, but there you have it. I'm really glad to have this going. I put them in the same one. This had animation on it already. They both use HIK rigs because I think HIK is just wonderful setup. You know, you can sit there and rig each one, but if you have HIK, it not only works with this, but it also works with Motion Builder games, and so it's a portable rig that follows through the whole pipeline. So that becomes very, very useful, and it's template. It's a lot of work that you can refocus your energies in other places. And at my age, the energy becomes a resource that you have to be very mindful of. But anyway, so I click the animation button here. Like I said, I started. These are on smooth, so it should be a little bit slow, a good bit slow, and also the texture is down. And I put a squash and stretch, and so that's one of the things I would want. Just a like I like I know there's a lot of squash and stretch tutorials, and it's really a common thing. But probably when I started Maya and when I was animating, it wasn't as big of a deal. At the, we were studying to do, or I was studying to do different types of raid. So I was just testing a squash and stretch on an arty character, and there's none here, but it's just a little squash and stretch helps, but that's probably a little bit more than I wanted. And then it makes the rig act funny. So grouping this stuff together, making the groups work correctly, the references and all of that stuff, it just really becomes kind of complex, even though it's a very simple looking characters and simple looking project. So if Anthony Ward was asking for ideas, and I would recommend that he do this, like teach this type of rig with a lot of these features that are very useful. Another issue is then you have to design the character. so, uh, so like I say, I will do an overview, but it's meant to be an overview. Like this has dynamics in it, in the eye, and the hair, and this little flower on top. It's in the antennas. There's dynamics, as you're already seeing in some of the videos. I also have it set up in endorphin so that it's a dynamic ragdoll and motion synthesis. So that's really fun, and it it adds a lot to the animation that I wouldn't readily do. It would probably take me a long time to do, a while to do. So here's those lashes moving with the eyes. Really important. And then I have control over this still. Like I say, the squash and stretch, it's nice, but unless it was like really perfectly rigged in, I don't know if I would use it, or I would use it very, very minimally. And then once you do it, that adds a whole nother layer of animation. Again, dynamics with the hair and the flower petals on top. I really enjoy that. And then I have a lot more morphs in the mouth, and so they will be able to talk. And one of the things I said right when I started, I'm like, look, we can't afford to do that. So they didn't ask for it. Is not is I mean, once we establish it for the budget, then I'm like, okay, I can't charge you extra or ask for more money for that. You know, you didn't ask me for that, and I can't keep building in stuff and saying, here, give me money for it. But I did do it. I mean, that's not their responsibility, even if it is their project. But so I can ask for donations for my studio to support when I want to add extra effort and stuff like that. And then, maybe you guys will enjoy it, or maybe I can add something as a giveaway. Like if I do a tutorial, if you're interested, maybe some people I can, give some kind of bonus tutorial or something. I wouldn't expect I would have to give a tutorial to somebody from Industrial Light Magic. They probably know a lot more than I do. But I'm just saying, as far as to make it more interesting, or at least what I would do is just post more and share more info, which is what I'm doing now. So I did sign on to Twitch, but I don't like working live. I don't like working online live. I just, the whole working over my shoulder, somebody watching me over my shoulder. I don't like to work like that. And that's probably why I work independently a lot. So, you know, even if I got hackers, I mean, it's just annoying. I still, when I work, I sign off. Like I just make sure I'm not online. So anyway, this was bouncing all over the place until I had to put animation layers to get it to stick because I rig them both from the center, so then I have to move them, and then they have dynamics, and that could be a problem. And so I did set them up with the initial feed, initial states and stuff like that, but it's kind of problematic. So that kind of stuff I don't like figuring out. And like I say, both of these rigs are based on the characters, and I was figuring them out and make them custom as I go. So I don't think that that's something that I would want to sell as a tutorial. But the scope of the whole project, I have no problem with that. So this is set up with HIK. I put a control rig on it. Really uh, very helpful. So it's controlled by the control rig unless I plot the animation on it. It won't move. So you can see her face will probably still move. And so, you can load those in really nicely, really quickly. Very, very useful. And even with Mixamo, I'll still be using some Mixamo animation. So, but to break down the rig and what works and what are the catch points and things like that is what I would like to kind of share. And this will be the last thing. So here, you can see if you grab the rig, you can move her around. And I would have liked to have done stretchy kind of rigs, but again, you know, double and triple rigging is something I'm kind of getting into. This is what I really enjoy, like the technical end of that, but I didn't do it here. So okay, it is almost 7. So like I said, today is my father's birthday. I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do. God bless you all. Love you all.